now plugged into the Social Plug Podcast.
What's going on, everybody? You are plugged into the Social Plug Podcast. I'm your host, Johnny Martinez, and as always, we are powered by Social Plug Media. Today's episode is sponsored by Top Flight Realty Group. This team of real estate professionals helps home buyers and sellers fulfill their real estate goals and needs with world-class customer service, knowledge, experience, and they do all that with trust, faith, and confidence. You can find them all over the San Antonio area on social media and also at topflightrealtygroup.com. What's going on, J-Rock?
What is up, my man?
So J-Rock's got that beautiful backdrop right behind him, big microphone with some glowing stuff.
I liked it from last episode, man, so I felt like we had to keep it, bro. It makes me look a little more connected with you, more plugged.
You think it makes you look more handsome, J-Rock?
More plugged? Is that what it plugged? Sorry.
You're plugged. You're plugged in.
Plugged. Sorry.
Do you think it makes you look more appealing to the audience?
Yeah, I think it does, man. I look a little brighter. I gotta let some of the skin out. I got a little bit of sun. Does it look like I got some sun? Jess? I haven't seen Jess in a long time. I feel like I haven't seen Jess in like months.
J-Rock, were you hanging out at the Canal River floating down?
Dude, I was at Camp Finfo, bro. Have you been to Camp Finfo?
I have not, but I've heard about it.
It is really cool, man. It's a good spot. I took my basketball team over there, and we just kind of had a little team outing. These guys won multiple championships this past summer, so we went out there, had some good time, and it was hot. I haven't been out some sun all summer long, so I felt good.
Is that why you wear shades all the time?
That's exactly why I wear shades all the time.
Man, you're so cool. You got to wear shades.
Yeah, they call me Coolio. Oh, Coolio.
Coolio.
Which one is it?
Yeah. I think a lot of people call you a lot of other things too, but we'll keep it clean. We'll call you Coolio.
Coolio. There you go, Coolio.
So this beautiful young lady to my right is Jessica Martinez. She's my soulmate. She's my rock. She's my life partner. She's my wife, and she's also a badass realtor, by the way.
Oh, you guess she is.
So she's a team lead of Top Flight Realty Group. So welcome to the show.
I heard she's a big catch, Johnny.
She is a big catch, and I don't know how I ended up with her. The verdict is still out. She lost a bet back in the day. So
thank you for having me.
Yeah. Hey, she is kind of a big deal.
She is a big deal. What are you talking about? Kinda. She is a big deal.
I've been waiting for you to come on the podcast for a while. You did have a individual podcast earlier in the year, but thank you for coming on the Social Plug Podcast. We've been expecting you, and hell yeah, this is going to be a great episode.
Yeah, I think we might want to be careful because I think Jessica might want to be voted from a lot of people, bro, to stay on the show or maybe even take your spot. She might take my spot.
Hey, I know there's a lot of people waiting to take my spot, but hey, that's cool. Hey, I'm ready. So before I introduce our special guest,
yes.
Jessica, you're special, but you're not our special guest today, okay?
That's okay.
I want to give a definition, all right? The definition is the word courage. Courage means the quality of mind or spirit that enables a person to face difficulty, danger, or pain, doing all that without fear, all right? Difficulty, danger, or pain without fear. So our special guest is this young lady over here, Celeste Martinez.
Hi.
What's going on? So she is my daughter. She's our daughter, and she's got a great story to tell. We've had challenges. We've had a lot of stress recently in our lives. So we want to make sure that we tell everybody our story, because what happened to us can happen to anybody.
Yes.
All right. So this is going to be a podcast where we're going to educate, we're going to inform, we're going to have some fun too. We always have fun no matter where we go, right? Look at that smile. Right. Look at those big teeth. But we want to educate people on what you went through and what you continue to go through for the rest of your life. Okay? So it is very, very important. But before we get into all that kind of stuff, I want you to tell me about yourself.
So my name is Celeste Martinez. I'm 13.
Okay.
And yeah.
So what do you like to do for fun, Celeste?
Sleep.
Sleep?
I like to sleep a lot.
So you like to grow because that's what it is. When you're young and you're sleeping, you're growing. Okay. So what have you been doing during the summer? You been having some fun?
We recently went on vacation.
Where'd you go to vacation?
Jamaica.
Oh, Jamaica man. What was it? What did you learn out there?
No.
Jamaica man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Everything was yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yes.
man.
So we are so fortunate to be in the United States. We talked about that when we were in Jamaica.
Yes.
Jamaica's a third world country. And there's a lot of kids your age that don't have the opportunities that we have today as Americans. So they grow up and they don't know any better, but they're hustle and they're very humble and they're very respectful. We met a lot of great people in Jamaica, and I respect them from the bottom of my heart. They're just great people that a lot of Americans just we don't. I mean, who the hell can go to Jamaica all the time? You just can't. But Jamaica's a great country, and we had a really good time.
I loved it.
No, yeah, it was great.
So you're gonna be like every kiddo, because I work with a lot of kids. You're gonna be like shy and stuff right now. You better not be shy. So you gotta tell us more about you. What do you do in school? How's your grades? Are you good?
Mm-hmm.
You ready?
I'm going
There you go.
to be a freshman this year.
Well, okay, gotcha. Heck yeah, you excited about that?
Yeah, I really want to go back.
You-
I want to go to high school.
You want to go? You want to go back?
I want to go to middle school again.
What?
Because
You wanna go
it went
back?
by so quickly.
What do you think about that, parents? Can we go back?
I'm
she
going to send her
did.
back to 7th grade.
She did miss that whole year because of what she went through.
Yeah, what she's
so
going
it was
through.
kind of that whole year was kind of like a blur to her,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But
What do you think the difference is now, guys, in school? Like, do y'all still got lockers?
No,
What? No lockers?
I was mad about that. I really wanted a locker.
Where do you put your stuff at?
You take your whole bag with you, and all your stuff is all your stuff.
So you don't get to like put any good pictures,
So-
like your favorite athletes when you open your.
No.
What happened, man?
Do you remember that, J-Rock?
I
We would
do
have.
remember
I had
that,
pictures
man.
of Heather Locklear and Jennifer Aniston and all that in my locker. You know, Tawny Katane. Those of you that remember Tawny Katane from Whitesnake, that was back in the
geez.
'80s. She was on that Corvette or whatever.
I remember Saved by the Bell had them. I was like, I can't wait to have a locker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, I can't wait.
Do you remember Screech?
Oh yeah, man. Rest in peace, right?
Rest in peace, Dustin
man.
Diamond.
you had Kelly up on yours, right,
Oh,
Justin?
you know what? You want to really know something? Kelly is like my dream crush. Like she was like, that's my girl. Like I wanted her to be my wife. Seriously.
That was a great show, Saved by the Bell.
It was.
So I've asked my children to watch Saved by the Bell, and they refuse. They want to watch some crap on YouTube all the time. I'm like, that is just horrible.
Exposing
Celeste,
me
do you
right
even know what like the Nickelodeon channel is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just want to make sure.
I used to watch it.
Okay,
Sometimes.
But old school
I
Nickelodeon.
used to have lockers in school.
Yeah. Dude, there was a lot of things. You can't do that on TV. Remember that when they the slime came down and all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
What was that called?
People still do that.
you can't do that on television.
It's
I
the
think that's what
People's
it's called.
Choice. It's the Kids' Choice Awards, isn't it? Okay, yeah, but there was
a whole
just a
bunch of
slime.
celebrities are on there.
Yeah.
And like if they win and they get the prize and they get slimed.
There was another one though, like a
Yeah.
really old school one.
God, I forgot what
Dude,
it was.
I'm old school. I can't deal with these
Yeah.
new trends and dances
Yeah,
and all
man,
this
I
kind of
remember
stuff.
Doug Funny. I remember, you know,
Yeah,
Doug.
yep.
Doug Funny was the stuff. Geez, Rocco's Modern Life. Yeah, that was whoever the creator of that show is kind of a little probably weird
Yeah.
right now.
I remember the Muppets and Fraggle Rock. That's what I grew up with,
Got me,
and
on
that was way before your
I
time.
was gonna say.
All right,
Yep, you got me on that one, Johnny.
GI
Now I feel
Joe's,
like
Transformers,
yeah, see, I was in the Transformers.
He-Man, that kind of stuff. So the
Oh,
stuff
man,
today
time
is
has
just
changed.
completely. I can't even sit there and watch that and be like entertained. I'm like, I'm pissed off watching it, and maybe there's something wrong in my head. But I'm like, this is just garbage.
Bozo the Clown, y'all remember that?
Oh, heck yeah.
On Saturdays.
I remember Bozo the
That
Clown.
was the best.
Aim for bucket number 1. Remember that? Aim for bucket number 2. The grand prize game.
What was his partner's
Cookie.
Cookie?
And
Yes,
hey,
Cookie.
I had when I was in the military, I had somebody who I worked with that looked like Cookie. They had the Cookie haircut, looking like George Jefferson.
So we would call him Cookie, but just between him.
Yes, yes.
I'm like, oh, there's Cookie.
That's hilarious.
So Jess, we didn't even really let you introduce yourself. I went in the deep end, and I went ahead. So let's introduce you. I want you to tell everybody what makes you tick.
Oh, what makes
Oh,
me
who didn't
tick?
turn their phone off?
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Who didn't
sorry.
turn their?
My
Was it
phone-
Jess?
My phone is off. I'm sorry. It's
All right,
off.
the
I don't
rule
know
is
what's going on.
whoever's phone rings has to do 20 push-ups right now.
Or has
Just
to,
waiting.
or has to take a shot, man.
Has to
Well,
take
no,
a shot. No, well,
we got
got
children
yeah,
on the
we
show.
got children
Okay.
on the show.
We can take shots.
I shouldn't have even. I shouldn't have even did the acclaimed sign earlier. I just realized. My bad on that one.
So make me tick. Like
What do you got going on? Who are you? What should the
Okay.
people know about you?
Yep. So my name is Jessica, and I'm a local realtor with Top Flight Realty Group. I have some awesome teammates on there, and we're just, killing the real estate game right now. I am also part of, I am owner of Party People Photo Booth. So we go out and we make sure everybody's having a good old time. And when I'm not doing real estate or photo booth, I'm taking care of my girls, our Aussie doodles, taking care of Johnny,
All your girls.
making sure he's acting right, because
So I tell people she's my manager, my agent, my handler, and everything else in between.
Heck yeah,
So you got your hands full dealing with me. You got the 2 Aussies, and then you got these two teenagers.
Teenagers.
Johnny said that everybody should have an Aussie dog,
Aussie Doodle.
Aussie Doodle to bring around. What was it? Bring around girls. So he got 4.
Bring around girls.
yeah,
Yeah.
he has 4 girls. I feel bad for him sometimes.
I feel bad.
See, J-Rock, why are you bringing that up? Why,
Oh, geez, sorry.
you know,
I had
what
to,
happens on the
man.
podcast stays on the podcast. Yeah.
Well, we were on the podcast, so I had to.
Yeah. So now I got to answer to that. All
Oh,
right.
jeez.
So I never take my Aussie Doodles around to pick up girls, okay?
No. You were like suggesting it to us that it's probably
okay.
a good dog for me or
Okay, for
the
you.
other guys to take out there, not for you to do that.
So I'll let you borrow my dogs.
There you go.
So you can go to the dog park or go wherever you need to go.
Absolutely
to the-
not. You
to
are
the
not
Canal River.
using my daughters to pick up chicks. Not happening, J-Rock.
come on,
Don't even
man.
think about it.
J-Rock, we'll talk offline about
Yeah,
that.
there we go. So I got a question, guys. So y'all being the parents that you are and things like that, what do you feel, what attributes did your daughters pick up from y'all from a bad habit? Like, what is it that Johnny does bad habit of, or you do bad, Jessica, bad habit that they've picked up?
Okay, I'll let you answer
Like a
that
funny
first.
habit of that.
Laughs at our own jokes.
So I do laugh at my own jokes. I think I'm funny, man. I think I have great jokes. I'm always trying to make jokes, and some people laugh, some people don't. But
Jess,
I
you need to
always
stop
laugh.
lying to him. You hear me? You need to stop lying.
I
to him.
always laugh.
Sometimes we're at home and all of us are, together. And sometimes he just starts laughing when he's, looking on his phone and stuff. And we're looking at each other like, what the hell is he laughing
What
at?
is he thinking?
And then he shows us, and it's not even funny.
Yeah. And we're like, and then Abby starts making fun of him. And then him and Abby start getting into an argument, right? Because he thinks he's funny. Abby's like, where's the funny part? And it's just
Oh,
a big,
gosh, that's
it's a big
hilarious.
shit show.
Like, a big shout out to my buddies that send me these inappropriate memes.
Oh, there you
Keep
go.
on sending them. Keep on making me laugh, and then we'll keep sharing, and we'll just create a bunch of filth together in the world.
Yeah.
All right, because it's fun, it's funny, and it keeps my heart
Oh,
pumping.
God. Hey, it does, man.
I've seen some of those memes, and I'm just gonna. Johnny and his friends, y'all are
Yeah,
disgusting.
Jessica, I have-
All right, so we
Jessica,
got our
I have-
daughter here, by
have
the way.
nothing to do with
I don't
this.
know if you noticed,
Nothing to do with
but we got, we do got our daughter here, and those memes. Although I don't mean filth in a bad way, just because we're all
Yeah,
men
no.
and we're adults, and we'll have crazy
me,
minds.
me and Johnny sending a lot of wrestling memes back and
Yes.
forth. So.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
That's good.
So there is a
Thank
lot
you.
of crazy stuff going on, but I think I'm funny. And so, is that your biggest pet
That's-
peeve of mine, that I think I'm funny?
That the kids are picking up. Like,
Oh, the kids are picking up.
yeah.
Saying that's what she said.
I do say that's what she said a lot.
And then Abby picks it up, and then I picked it up.
Hey, that
gosh.
word sometimes a girl say it, and I'm like, oh my god.
So I don't like my 13 and 12-year-olds saying that's what she said, but sometimes they got some good ones, and I can't help but say that was a good one.
Sometimes it's like it's perfect. I'm like, man, that was good.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
All right. So
Oh,
here
that's hilarious.
publicly, no more. That's what she said on your end. Okay.
No more for you, Celeste.
Yeah. You got to be over 18 to say that's what she said. All right,
That's
from here on out.
That's
Okay.
hilarious.
But mine are still funny.
Yeah. But we have a great time. All right, we're always doing something. We're always trying to teach, and I do teach a lot, and you can attest to this. I'm always mentoring. I call it mentoring.
Yeah. Before I get to that too, because I want to ask you that as well, Celeste, in a second. But like, what do y'all know that they picked up from you? Or Celeste, like just Celeste specifically, I guess at this point. Like, what do you think that what you like, the way y'all were the way you raised them, like they just picked up something from you?
Like,
No, like like Justin,
Oh,
Johnny,
you're
like that
asking
you know,
us.
yeah, that you know that you
Oh.
picked up.
slang.
Slang. Okay.
Sus.
Okay. I use the word sus sometimes because I think that's a trend, right? Sus means suspicious or
like, yeah, sus. What's up with
Is
those
it
things?
still a trend?
I think it is. All right.
Yeah.
There's this guy I watch on TikTok. He's hilarious. He always uses him. He's like, bro, even though it's his mom, he's like, bro, and like, you're being mid, or like,
Hey, sometimes
These Oreos
is it-
slap.
Is it you or your Abby? They'll say like bro, right?
Yeah,
And
bro.
Johnny.
I
thinks
hate when
they're-
they call me bro.
Johnny is like,
I'm like, I'm not your bro.
don't be calling me bro.
I'm your dad.
Bro.
All right. Yeah. So
He gets mad.
those are things that really irritate me,
Oh.
and that I can't keep up with this new trend.
oh, I can't either.
Calling me bruh or bro.
So
It's
it's funny because you have us three, the girls,
Mm-hmm.
up against him, and he's getting mad, and we're just laughing. Like we can't help but laugh.
And then Pepper and Lucy get involved
Oh,
and hug
jeez.
all up on Dad.
so there's other words.
4
Slay.
against 1.
Slay. I'm gonna slay today.
Gonna slay today.
Slay.
What does that
Alright.
mean? You're gonna
Is that like-
oh, you're gonna kill
like
the
you're
day.
gonna kill it.
I'm gonna kill it.
Oh,
All
Jesus.
right. I'm not only gonna kill it. We're gonna dominate
There
it.
was
Right?
a video
Yes.
game Halo. It's like Slayer. That's what
Yeah.
I should say. Slayer.
Uh,
That's good.
Chugi. Have you heard of Chugi?
Chugi.
What?
What?
It means old school, uncool.
Celeste, what is
So,
that coming up with?
I looked this up. Okay, I did my research before the podcast, as
What
we
does
he
should.
that
Googles. He Googles.
All right, as we
What
should.
should dads know? If what the sling dad
Yeah.
should know
Did you say
today.
chuggy?
Chugi.
Chugi. So okay. So what does it mean?
It means untrendy, uncool, old school, kind of what they think about me.
Oh, so you're Chugi.
Yeah, I'm Chugi. All right.
I've heard somebody call you Chewy before, but now it's Chugi. Okay, I got it.
Ghosted. What does ghosted mean?
Oh,
Hi.
J Rock, you've ghosted me
Wait.
a couple of times.
What is
You're
it?
supposed to
What?
meet me someplace
you
and you
Oh,
don't-
ghosted me.
ghosted.
Yeah, you don't,
Okay,
like,
ghosted.
respond.
Yeah, or you don't show
Yeah, you
up,
don't
or
show up, or
you're
you don't
silent.
A
Yeah,
lot of
ghosted
people
you? What do you-
ghost.
what's going on
Like
here?
a lot of kids just go ghost.
Yeah.
They go ghost.
Like you go off social media for like
Oh,
a while
okay.
and you
Yeah.
don't respond to any messages.
And some
So
people
you
should be ghosting on
They
social
should be
media.
ghosting, yeah.
A lot more people should be ghosting on social media.
Yeah, like
right?
me sometimes.
Yeah. Squad. The word is squad.
Squad. So
All
it's
right.
like your crew? Is that like
That's
crew,
your
like
boys
your-
and your gals?
2019.
Your-
No one says squad anymore.
Your entourage. Well, I
That
still
was
say
when
squad.
We say
Celeste,
squad.
when was it?
I think we have a good.
This was like in
squad.
2019. People were like, "Oh my god, we're a squad!"
Oh,
Like
so when
hashtag
you're-
squad.
when
We're
you're-
squad.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't use it anymore.
Hashtag squad.
See.
Hashtag squad.
So
Hashtag that's your squad.
I'm trying my best to keep up with the times.
Like mid.
All right.
Oh yeah, what does mid mean?
It's like you're like if you're using it towards a person, it means you're not bad looking, but you're not good looking. Like you're right in the middle.
I guess I'm mid,
Mid.
guys. I guess
All
I'm
right.
mid.
So J Rock is mid, or is he? Is
yeah,
he?
am I mid? You got to
What's
comment,
J-Rock?
guys. Am I mid or am I? What low mid?
So,
Is it low?
So what if you're like really good looking? What do you call?
Yeah. What do you call somebody? Damn. Oh,
glow,
sorry.
glow up,
Yeah,
glow.
like a glow up. Like if you looked.
See, look at that.
Two
I just
different-
Wait,
look
what?
at that. I
Like
just said glow
a
up. and
Seriously,
I was
glow
say
like,
glow? Like glow?
So like
Glow up?
Like yeah, like a trend on TikTok. You put like yourself, like not looking your best, but like an old picture, and then you show yourself now.
That's a glow up.
Yeah, and it's like you're better than what you were. So it's like you looking better than what you did before.
Okay, so I think J Rock, when he goes on his websites,
Oh, jeez.
he gets a lot of these
My
girls
websites.
that glow up. They really don't look like that. They use these filters and they're glowed up. Is that what that means, J Rock?
Yeah.
So too many filters. So let's talk about that on TikTok and on Snapchat. Everybody has a filter now, right?
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Does a lot of kiddos use filters, Celeste? I mean, that's,
Like they use like filters to put like these freckles on and like to change their eye color and like to make their face look more like bony. It's weird.
All right. So are people more fake today?
Yeah.
And is that the trend?
wait, why do you say
They're
that?
just
I
trying-
love how she just, yeah.
They're just
She's like, yeah.
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 All these girls are like trying to fit in with like these top celebrities when they look perfectly fine the way they are without a filter on, and it's stupid. I don't like it.
That's cool.
All right. So I'm going to take a note of that.
Mhm.
No more filters on my
on Celeste's
on my
pictures.
Snapchat or
Yeah,
anything, right?
everybody else.
If you have a filter, you need to get out.
Say that one more time.
If you
Right
have
at
a
the
filter,
camera.
you need to get out.
Quit using filters, ladies.
Right now.
Quit using
Right
filters,
now.
men as well. I think everybody uses filters.
Because they look perfect the way they are.
That's right.
They don't need a filter.
Thank you. Look
See?
at you.
I told
looking,
you, Johnny.
You're looking
I
at
told
the
you I
true
look good the
beauty.
way.
So maybe J-Rock and I are the ones that are shallow.
Quote me
And
on
we're
that.
and we're looking too deep into it.
Whoa, is that another shallow? What's that? That new one?
No,
I'm
no,
just playing.
no. Shallow just means that you're looking too much on the surface about people's looks,
Oh, really?
right? I mean that's not even a trend. That's old school.
Yeah, I was
Shallow
joking.
means that you just concerned with people's looks and their appearance and things like that, and you're not getting you don't want the chance to get to know them because you're judging a book by its cover.
A lot of
Gotcha.
people do that.
All right.
Like in school, a lot of people judge a book by its cover.
So are kids mean today?
Yes, really mean. Like
How
they'll
are they mean?
they'll like make fun of you because like of something you did in your past, or like they'll make fun of you for like your appearance. Like at school, you can't wear the same shoes every day because then they'll call you poor.
Shoes.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wear these same shoes for the past 3 years.
Like in school, they'll make fun of you, like of your weight, of like if your teeth are crooked, like they'll make fun of you. Like
So-
they won't just like they won't ignore it. They'll tell you something.
So
That's right.
let's talk about that a little bit. That's bullying.
Yes.
Right? So we definitely frown upon bullying, and we've had incidents in the past. We won't get too deep into them, but we've had incidents where kids are bullying others. You've seen bullying, you've felt bullying, and you've confronted bullies as well. And one thing that we always teach as parents, the best way to stop bullying is to knock them in the damn mouth.
Yes.
Right? You hear me say that a lot of times. It's horrible and it's very ugly to be bullied. I was bullied when I was a kid.
Yeah, myself too.
and you know what I did? I knocked him in his damn mouth. And it was a couple of guys and they stopped. You know, but
Yeah.
kids today, man, it's a sickness and it's a disease that's going on. And I think social media, correct me if I'm wrong here, social media drives these people to bully and they judge you. They're shallow and all these different things. If you're not pretty or good looking or whatever, you got to use these filters. So these kids they're not being genuine. They're not being themselves. They have to put up a front in order to not be bullied. And it's a horrible thing. So parents, a lot of parents are dealing with this stuff, and it's just horrible. So we deal with it with both our kids, and we've seen it happen. And there's a lot of no tolerance in the schools. However, it still happens.
Online.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Online bullying on TikTok, we've seen it. You've shown me some stuff, and right away I want to confront it. But the problem is deep rooted, and a lot of the parents don't even know that their kids are bullying others.
Because the kid doesn't open up to the parents.
Right, because they're afraid. And what's happening today, there's a lot of suicides going on. There's a lot of drugs coming into our country, and there's a lot of things, so many things.
Shit, even the trafficking is crazy, man.
Trafficking,
The
and we'll
child
get in that
trafficking.
here in a minute.
Yep.
But today, Jess, do you think it's harder to be a kid today than it was in the 80s when you're growing up?
Oh, for sure. These kids are just some of these things that the girls come home and tell us, about, stuff that's going on. I'm just like, oh my God, like what is happening? What, to our kids? And I'm glad that the girls have come to us, and they usually talk to me first. And then, and then Johnny's going to want to go choke someone out,
Right away, I want to go to the parent or to the
Yeah.
school. That's my solution.
And the good thing, especially like Celeste, I think she's come to me several times where, just kids saying a mean word or,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, you need to defend yourself. Seriously. You need to do something about it because we don't put up with that. This isn't what we teach you, but you can't be letting people, kids disrespect you.
Yeah.
There's no way. Your father doesn't talk to you like that. You're not going to let someone else talk to you like that.
Yeah, I think that's kind of rough. Like, also, when I was even guilty of this, like, there's many different types of bullying. Like, they think you're their friend, and then you hang out with them for a good while. They let you go and, be around them on the weekends, all that good stuff. And then like there might be a moment that they know that they can like take advantage of you in a situation.
Yeah.
And you thought they were their friends, and then you even think that that's okay. So you end up finding out over the years, you're like, man, that guy was bullying me the whole damn time.
Yeah.
You didn't even know that,
Yep.
And there's many different ways of bullying. So, it's crazy how it goes. And I hear it a lot too. It's funny, guys. I actually got to talk about this a little bit too. Was like, some of the parents were like, man, you've been coaching kids longer than our kids are alive, so you're pretty much a parent yourself. Mm-hmm. But I mean in that way of like, man, I've seen so many of these kids go through so much, and you're saying that some of these kids are like that, and a lot of that starts at home, and that's the hard part of it, because we can't change what they're going through at home.
And I think some of these kids, they come from a good family, but I think it's also them, who they're surrounded, with at school, those kids,
exactly.
Because they might be a different person at home, because we know that's not what the parents are teaching them, but they're getting influenced from their friends, from social media, and we've had to educate our youngest too, like, hey, this is what we're seeing with certain people. And you should, I'm sorry, I don't know why my phone keeps ringing. But we tell them, you're going to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
And she had to learn the hard way on who was her friend and who wasn't, and we have to constantly remind her. And although sometimes she would get upset, because we would talk to her and tell her like, hey, be careful. And no, it was tough. It was tough, but she was going to have to learn one way or another, and she sure did.
Yeah.
She sure did.
I think peer pressure is a tough thing today. These kids they have these influencers all around them. They not only have social media, but they have these friend groups. And if they don't act a certain way, or if they don't fit in, they're looked at as an outcast.
Yeah.
And they are pressured into being somebody they're not, or being pressured into bullying somebody, or being pressured into doing something outrageous that gets them in trouble. Like the thing today is vaping.
Yes.
Wow.
All right. So vaping is a problem in the schools and in the young society. Now, adults can vape all they want, of course.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's their choice.
But when I see a 13-year-old kid vaping, I have a problem with that. So even when I was in middle school, kids used to smoke. And it was just weird because I was never taught to smoke. Even though my parents did smoke when I was younger, I was the type like, man, it stinks. I'm never going to smoke. And nobody's going to influence me to smoke. I was just woven from a different cloth. But these kids today, in order to fit in, you have to vape. You got to chew tobacco. You got to have sex. You got to do all these different things that are in today that these influencers on social media are telling you to do. Without actually telling you, they're just putting on this persona, which could be fake, could be real, whatever. I'm rich, I'm Barbie girl, whatever, and this is how I'm going to be. Mean Girls, all these different things, and these girls try to be like that. And I tell my girls, not only not everybody's your friend, but not everybody is genuine, and not everybody is real, especially on social media.
Yep.
Social media is a dangerous avenue to go down as well. So we got to educate our kids on the dangers. You don't know who's on the other side of that text message or on that private message. There's guys on there trying to sex traffic these young girls and young boys. All right, that movie that just came out, Sound of Freedom.
Yeah, it's
very
crazy,
powerful movie, very realistic movie that a lot of people are either they're with it or they're against it.
Yeah, and it's crazy, man. Like even like to hear how many like productions already like shot it down. There was man, I'm gonna probably I don't remember the actor's name, the main actor, but it was crazy. They've been doing lots of podcasts with him, lots of interviews to talk about like how things went through with the whole process of bringing the movie out. And they said that a couple times when they did the viewings, they would always see there was one spot that people were always like, the part would show, and then people were kind of like talking to each other. And he's seen it like 3-4 times, and then so finally on the 4th showing, he kind of asked. He asked the people. He said, "What is it that y'all were kind of talking about when y'all saw this part?" And everybody kind of talked about that it looked like Epstein. It was a lot to do with the Epstein, story. And so, it's scary to hear that, $180 billion industry, is what they said it was. And this movie I wish everybody would just watch it. And at the end of the movie, guys, what's crazy is they do a special message, and it tells you at the movie, stick around. And this is what shocked the shit out of me was they're asking people to go buy tickets and then at this certain website, so that way if people can afford to pay for it, or if they don't want to pay to go watch it, but at least they get the free ticket, you can go to that site, get the tickets, and go watch the movie. And then again, what got me was at the end of it, there was so much money that had been raised and so much stuff had to happen for this movie to get brought out. There was at least 8 to 10 families, or it was names across the way on the dropping of the ending credits, and it says special thanks to these people to make this movie happen. I swear those credits went for like 2.5 minutes.
Yep.
To find out how many people try to make that movie happen. So, but again, the sex trafficking is just so crazy how it happens, how there's so many different industries and people that are like creating these false things to grab these kids, you know. And then there's not too long ago, there's a big thing going on TikTok about this daughter and husband went to a Mavericks game, and she went to the restroom just like they have season tickets. They go hundreds of times, and she was just going to the restroom, and this guy talked her out of the arena, and 10 days later they found her in Oklahoma. She had no idea where she was at, you know. And when they got her, she was like, man, I would have wished I would have listened to my dad, the things my mom and dad told me about not talking to talking to adults that I don't know. So it's crazy how this trafficking's happening too, man. So crazy what social media is doing to us.
It happens on the phone. It happens at Mavericks games. Anywhere in society, at Walmart, the grocery store, it's happening all around us. So I teach my kids and try to teach others, when you're walking around, quit looking down at your phone. Be aware of your surroundings, because people are watching you. And if they see that you're preoccupied with your phone, you're an easy target and you're easy prey to get grabbed and put into a van or a car, and you're taken forever. And who knows what's going to happen with you.
Yeah.
So we see everybody. I'm guilty of it. I'm sitting there and I'm just, on my phone, whatever, scrolling through. But everybody needs to be urged to put the phone down a little bit and be aware of your
You think
surroundings.
someone's going to kidnap you, Johnny?
Say that again?
You think someone's going to kidnap you when you have your head down?
Hey, I might be they might take my. So you hear about this too?
Yeah. No.
Taking your liver and your spleen
What?
and your organs.
Geez.
That happens too.
Did they switch them out? Because I could probably use a new one.
No, I mean they sell them. They sell them on the black market or sell them wherever. So
geez.
I've heard of guys being. There's documentaries and stuff where you're kidnapped, and you wake up in a ice bath.
Oh, wow.
With your organs missing.
Wow. That's
so
crazy.
nobody is off limits.
Nobody's
man.
off limits.
No, it's crazy. So this is
You should wear like a T-shirt or something that says how much you drink per week, and they're gonna
no,
leave that guy alone.
My liver is no good. All right, my kidneys.
I'm a smoker. I smoked 10 packs
No
of
good.
cigarettes a day.
These lungs and everything else.
I have a track record. Talk about tattoos. Hey, you sure you want to take me? Because this is what's going down right now.
So we tell the girls, like, we know they're on social media, and there's nothing we can do, where we just have to tell them they have to be careful.
Yeah.
If there's something that they see and they're not sure of, come tell us, because we're not going to get mad at them. We're going to thank them for coming to us. So we tell them, turn your location off. Do not talk to anybody you don't know. When you're in the grocery store, unfortunately, you can't walk by yourself through the aisles anymore, because I always tell them, you're going to get kidnapped.
Man, I remember going to H-E-B and going all the grapes, trying them out, the cherries, and
So you were shoplifting there, J-Rock.
I was.
Man.
How long ago?
Hey, you know what? I gave them the best idea, bro. When I did all that as a young kid, now there's stations where you can try food. You're welcome. I'm the reason why you get all the samples now.
Thank you, Gerald.
Hey, at Costco, you can go eat a full meal.
For free?
At Costco?
For free?
I mean, walking around.
Oh,
Justin.
okay.
Oh, they have all those stations.
They
You
give
got
you
me
rotisserie
excited there for
chicken.
a second. Like for free?
He was gonna leave right now.
I was about to leave right now. I'm like, hey, somebody needs to take over the.
Are you feeling hungry? So
I am hungry.
so the life's dangerous today.
Oh yeah.
So
I was gonna say this too. My bad, Johnny. My mom was like, it's crazy how the one thing I had to worry about back in the day was just making sure you got home when the lights went on outside on the streets. Now we had to worry about, the youngsters. Now we got to worry about their phones more than we have to worry about them staying out there to the light sometimes. Like, that's scary, right? Like, you have to worry about that more than, it's kind of both scary, but in a way, but that's going to happen more than this.
Yep.
Like, you have a more chance of getting bullied online, being, trafficked online than probably outside nowadays,
So check this out. Early 80s, all right? I'm going to date myself. Early 80s. No cell phones, all right? I would walk a couple of miles to my friend's house, and I was 6 years old, 7 years old in the neighborhood.
She goes,
And
Jeez.
my mom and dad were confident
No.
that nothing was going to happen to me, and nothing ever did, knock on wood.
yeah.
But can you imagine today letting a 7 or 8-year-old, even a 12-year-old, walk a mile or two down the block without a cell phone, without Life 360 on their cell phone? All right, because we have that. If you haven't downloaded Life 360, it's a GPS tracker, and it tracks your phone. Okay. Now they got the Apple AirPods. They got all these different things.
Yeah.
But can you imagine? You can look at it both ways. Either we were so free that parents were okay with it, or maybe they were scared shitless as well, and they just let us go.
Yeah.
But
I think it was just more of because that's the way they were, right? Like, my parents said they used to, always be out or whatever, like, if they were working, because it was, whatever, how old they were, or they were out and about, always outside. Like, I was always outside. I rode my bike everywhere. I remember, my parents worked all the time, so I remember when I wanted to play as much basketball as I did, my dad's like, here's your bike. Go drive to, it ain't Dodge Rec. It was the Rec. It was one court. That was it. It wasn't even a full court, but it was, the Rec. And I would drive my bike there all the time. I'd go to Prince Tom's to go play basketball. We were out till 4 in in here in our town, like 4 in the morning. At 3 in the morning, the cops would stop us.
And you were how old?
I did this between 12, 13, all the way to like 16, 17. 16.
Jessica, can you imagine letting our kids out at 12 years old, 13 years old, 4 in the morning at the park?
We don't even let them go to the front yard.
your ring bell goes off.
Yeah,
Okay, we got eyes
I'm
on
like,
him.
babe, watch them on the cameras, like,
That's so scary,
and
man.
we have a park and a pool, in the neighborhood, and sometimes, they want to go be kids. They're like, oh, we want to go to the park. I'm like, you don't want to. They're gonna take you from there, Like,
I don't even let my dogs go out too much because someone's gonna steal them.
Hey man, yeah, it was crazy. I had fun though, like as a kid like that. I mean, obviously not every one of my friends could do that, but I had those friends that could, and we would ride our bikes everywhere. The cops would stop us. Hey, where you coming from? We're at Prince Tom's. Okay, well, I better see y'all going down this street in a little bit, and they looked out for us. They didn't.
Yeah.
And, it was the same cops at the time, too. We grew up here in this town. But I enjoyed that. I wish kids could enjoy that, having that freedom of doing that. And some kids can't,
They won't ever be able to. And I do feel bad for this generation, these kids, because it's a total different life, right? They can't do what we did when we were growing up.
Before we transition into our story, we talked about social media. We talked about kids and trends. Today, do you feel that kids have more difficulty communicating than back in the 80s and 90s?
Yeah, dude, it's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, with me working with kids for 18 years now, because I started working with kids when I was 16, and you do the math, but I've gotten to a point to where, like, that was right in the middle of, like, me leaving the best era, I felt like, as kids. We barely got to know the cell phone, but we also got to know without the cell phone. And I think that was the best time. I remember still getting the newspaper. I remember getting the newspaper when the Spurs were the shit, and go getting every single Sunday because I wanted the poster that was in there. But then I would read it, and and just that was the fun of that, But I think it's very difficult now in changing and what's going on.
So with the communication piece, I try my damnedest to teach my girls to go talk to people.
Yeah, that's
Go
what we-
communicate with a waiter. Go
Yeah.
communicate with a cashier. Because my youngest, she's scared. She's frightened to talk to people. But she can sit there on their cell phone and talk all day,
Yeah.
chatting away, texting. So I think we're losing a little bit of the individualism as far as communication, where you can have a conversation, spark up a conversation. I was always taught, say hi to people, greet your family, greet people, say hello to the cashier, say hello to the person pumping your gas, whatever. I think kids today, they want to be able to communicate, but they just don't know how to.
Yeah, that's where I was going to. Is like working with kids is just like it's tough when you see the littler ones come in. You know, like this week I had camp and like
You say little.
I did say little, right? The little ones, my young guns, my little guys. They came in and it's tough for them, I feel, to conversate. I have some kids that don't. This is all they, and I've been coaching some of these kids for like 2 years and they still can't get a word out, But when they're home, the mom's like, he can't stop talking. Well, that's kind of the tough part of that.
Sometimes when we go like to, a restaurant or H-E-B or something, we say hi, how are you doing? And you
We compliment people.
You catch some of those that they're just like, oh shoot, like what do I say? They're talking to me, and it's sad. You see it. You can tell when they get all like flustered and stuff. We see it with our youngest. We're like, just go talk. We're like, we'll send your sister with you. Like, just go. And
It's the
I hate
cell
seeing
phone
them.
thing.
I hate seeing, like my godson used to do this, and he's as open as he is. I think maybe it might have been because it was a girl, or whatever. But we'd walk in somewhere in town, and he'd say hi to a couple of them, and then be right on his phone. I'm like, dude, who are you texting? We're right here. He's like, well, I'm texting my friend. Which friend? The one that's over there. Well, go talk to him.
Yeah.
Put the phone down and go talk to him.
Yep.
Jeez, you know what I mean?
Or check this out. When they have a sleepover, and then they're all sitting around the table on their cell phones.
Oh my God.
They're not talking to each other.
And it's
Is
super
this true,
quiet.
Celeste?
We're communicating.
Oh my
They're
God.
texting
Our
each
minds
other.
are communicating.
Or they're sending each other videos or
You're gonna be the-
whatever.
I
gonna
send
be-
funny videos.
You send funny videos?
Yeah.
Oh,
they're
you're
funny.
going to be the reason why, what's his name? Elon Musk is trying to read our minds.
You're welcome.
So-
You're welcome, she said.
You're welcome.
So J-Rock, we all do the same thing sometimes. We get on our phones, we're sending each other videos and memes and stuff. So it even goes to the adults. But
Yeah.
I can tell you, I know how to talk to people. I know how to compliment people. I know how to spark up a conversation. I know how to do all these things. But it's my job and responsibility and duty as a parent to be able to hand that off to my daughters, because they are the next generation.
Yeah. Yep.
They are going to be the ones leading the way when we're no longer here. And they're the ones going to be fulfilling the obligations of society. All right, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent. But these cell phones are great. Social media is great, but it's also very, very bad.
Yeah.
And it's limiting these people,
Yeah.
these kids, and their communication efforts. Because I've seen husbands and wives just sitting there. We kind of watch when we're having dinner at restaurants, and there's husband and wives, the whole family just sitting there on their cell phones.
Yeah.
Right?
It's scary to see, man.
And there's sometimes when we're done with it, waiting for the check, we kind of get on our cell phones sometimes, and I say, look, we're all on our cell phones. Or she'll say it. She'll call us out. So, but
Look, Dad, you're
always
on your
calls us out.
phone.
All three of them are sitting on their cell phone, and I'm there like,
all three of them, she's on the cell phone as well.
Hey, her phone's ringing right now, Johnny.
Yes,
what the heck?
see.
that was business.
I sometimes even get tired of my phone.
Oh, thank you.
Well,
'Cause it's
hey,
just the same thing over and over again.
Yep.
and it's even this, bro. I mean, I'm guilty of it. I'm over here saying littler. What am I saying? You know what I mean?
Littler?
The communication is
communi-
showing.
we
There
have-
you go.
and I'm being real. Like I used to read books all the time. Then I get caught up reading a book on my phone, and then something clicks and comes up. I'm like, "Ding, okay, now I'm on. Next thing you know, I've been on TikTok for 45 minutes. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, this was my read.
Yep.
So we all kind of get caught up in those things, here and there with that. But even as adults, we get guilty because we get so caught up. But
Yeah.
some of us, it's our business. We've learned that this is part of our business now. So it's kind of tough.
Because it's the same thing over and over again. Everyone's doing the exact same thing.
Yep. So how do people stand out, right?
Yeah.
So even as business owners, and I tell her, look, I'm not scrolling through TikTok or Facebook or Instagram just to do it. I'm deliberate when I'm doing, because both of us are realtors, and as realtors, you gotta be able to reach out to your clients and reach out to this group or this group, or whatever. So we're constantly marketing and networking. So it's much different. So I tell the kids, you can't compare yourself to what I'm doing on the phone. And phones are so crucial today. You have your memories on there. You got your calendar. You have everything, your GPS. You have everything that you can possibly imagine on our phones. I remember growing up, first phone I had, we didn't have anything on there. It was just a old school Motorola cell phone that you can just kind of push buttons and you called somebody. That was it. But today, phones are transforming into something you definitely need. And if you don't have a cell phone today, it's going to be tough for you.
That's tough.
So
I sometimes wish I had y'all's types of phones, like the.
Well, I
little
told you
telephone.
I told you don't go into Apple. I said make sure you get an Android. Keep Android.
Wait, hold on. Wait,
So-
what do you want in your phone? What are you talking about? Celeste.
Like the old-fashioned phones,
She wants
Oh,
that
like
little
the-
I don't have an
Nokia
old
phone.
Like the
Fashion
Zach
phone.
Morris,
The
the Zach
little-
Morris phone, bro.
like the ones that go on
Kinda.
the wall and then you pick it up.
Oh, like
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like
Old school.
those. Those are cute. I like them.
And that's called a landline. We don't use those anymore.
That's cost $60 on Spectrum for an
Hey,
extra line that you're not
Somebody
getting
buy
used.
me a landline.
landlines were so much fun.
Yeah, remember
Someone
you used to
buy
have
it
to
for
leave a
me.
voicemail. So
Oh, yeah.
Celeste, imagine you called me right now, right? And it's like, use your phone. Use your phone. Okay, there you go. Okay, and then if you heard me say, "Hello,
Hi.
hi, you've reached Justin Castillo." See, you fell for it. That's what we used to do. That was our fun.
Hey, our youngest has that on her as her voicemail.
Really, as her
And she
voicemail.
gets us all the time.
So that's such old school.
How is she? Like, hello,
Yeah.
hello, and she's like, just kidding. Leave a voicemail.
Like she's in a hello, 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 anybody there?
All right. So Celeste, when I first introduced you, I gave a definition of courage, right?
Yes.
So you went through some stuff. We all went through it together. All right, and we're still going through it together. As parents, the worst words you ever want to hear is your child has cancer. Right? So we got to hear that. This was about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago.
Tomorrow. Oh wait. On Sunday, it's gonna be the second year that we found out I had it.
All right. So it was the toughest thing that I've ever had to go through, not only as a parent but as a man, as a human being. And this is how we found out. Okay, so this is the education part. This is the information education portion of the podcast and of your story. You wanted to go into volleyball. Okay, you were like 12 years old, ish. And you said, I want to go into volleyball. So in order to go into volleyball, you had to get something called a sports physical. All right. It was mandatory. And thank God it's mandatory. All right. Because if it wasn't mandatory, we might not have ever known that you had thyroid cancer. So here we go. We do a routine physical, take you over to the doctor's office.
She's seventh grader going in to become a seventh grader at this time.
It was 6th grade going into 7th grade.
Okay. Sixth grade going in the seventh grade.
Okay.
Yeah, I was 12.
So I remember we were in the office with you, getting your little physical, and the doctor's in there touching your arms and asking you questions and doing all these different things. So she's using her fingers, of course, to check your ears and your throat and stuff like that. So she's doing her evaluation on you, and she touches your thyroid area, and she goes, "Oh my God, this looks kind of odd. This feels kind of odd." And so we're like, what is that? And so there is a large mass that we had never really seen on you before. You had never really known that you had a mass on your throat.
Had you felt it at all before, Celeste? Or
They never
did
examined my face or my throat. We never noticed it, but now in pictures, our old family pictures, you can see it, and it's very noticeable.
so you always thought that was just part of your throat type deal, or what?
Yeah, I never thought
Okay.
anything about it.
Wow. Okay.
So she's, going through her evaluation, and she says, "I need to submit this to a specialist." And we were like, "Holy cow, what's going on?" And then I'll let you give your
Yeah.
portion.
What was y'all's thought process at the time?
So we weren't sure. We were like, okay, well, let's jump on this quick, right? Especially because the doctor was really concerned about it. I was concerned after touching it. I was like, oh my God, what is this? So we got the specialist, and she saw Celeste. She examined her, and she was like, okay, we need to send her for a biopsy. And she was like, you got to call and schedule. And I was like, okay, I'm going to call and schedule. We got in so quick. I was like, there's no way I'm waiting for this.
Yeah.
And then we ended up getting switched to another specialist, her ENT doctor. And when we went in to get the results, they did the biopsy. We took them. Everybody was great at the hospital.
This was during COVID as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Whoa, really?
Yeah. So she got the biopsy. We went in to see the doctor for the results. And I remember Johnny had to stay outside. And it was just her and I. And that's when the doctor told us that it was, in fact, cancer.
I was on a video call, so you think you had me on FaceTime or
Yep.
one of those things.
Yeah, and we're like, what in the hell did you just say? Like, holy crap. So then we're, everybody, I'm trying to keep my cool, and it just, sorry, gets a little emotional.
So we try to keep her cool. I'm in the car, and this doctor is saying my daughter has cancer. And everything's going through my mind. Now, as a parent, you try to stay positive. You try to keep, an even keel, and you try to ensure you're very, very strong, which we are very, very strong. But at that point, I was very weak. All right.
Yeah.
So I couldn't let them know, especially Celeste, know that it was a huge deal. Right. I had to say, hey, you're going to be okay. We're going to get through this. Everything's going to be just fine.
So how were you feeling at this time, Celeste? Did you understand what was going on?
I didn't, because I was confused, because, I thought it was, I would have, the symptoms and stuff, but I felt fine. So, I was confused on why I had it. But it was, very, traumatic, kind of.
So you knew the word cancer, and when we hear the word cancer, you think death. You think suffering, pain, agony, all these different things, because we have people in our family that have passed away from cancer.
Correct.
People, everybody on earth has somebody who's gone through some kind of cancer. We think about chemo. So all kinds of things are going through my mind. I remember I'd seen that movie, My Sister's Keeper.
Yep.
So if you haven't seen that movie, it's about childhood cancer.
Yeah.
All right. So all these different things are going through my mind, but on the top of my mind, it was always she's going to be okay. She's always going to be okay. But on the back of your mind, you're still thinking, man, what do I got to prepare for?
Yeah.
Is my child going to pass? And is she going to suffer? Is she going to go through chemo? All these different, because we had never had a bout with thyroid cancer. We didn't know. So what the doctor did tell us, you never want to get cancer, but if you did, this is the one to get.
Really?
Right? This is the one to get, right? Because this is the one that's most curable. This is the one where you can have surgery, remove it, and the chances of living a long and prosperous life is very, very high. So I immediately started doing research. I went on Google, WebMD, all these different things, and I started looking up. So, and I confirmed on several websites that it in fact wasn't a death sentence.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that made me feel a lot better. And kudos to the doctors and all those people at the, I forget what hospitals, but here in San Antonio, they operated and they supported you. Mm-hmm. The nurses, everybody was professional. And they assured us, hey, we're specialists here. People go through this all the time. You're going to be okay. So, and I'll let you give your portion after that.
Yeah, she had to go through several biopsies, and then she did go through 2 surgeries. The
So
first one,
what's for people that don't know, what did the biopsy consist of? Like, what did she have to do?
I had
You
to
wanna-
be put to sleep. I
Okay.
had IVs in my hand, and they would put anesthesia in the IV, and I would just go to sleep. And it
So-
was a 5-minute process.
The happy
So
gas.
and you had
Yeah.
Jesse said she had to do a couple of these.
2 biopsies.
Two
So
of
they
them.
just put a very fine needle
Mm-hmm.
in the area, and they took the samples from that. And then, so the first surgery, they took out her entire thyroid. And then, of course, we go for more scans, and there's still some in there. So then he's like, we go see another ENT doctor from the UT Health Science Center. And he's like, look, we got to do it again, to get the rest. And
So the first scar was about 2 inches long.
Very
Yeah.
little.
Very little, very
Yeah.
faint. Okay, so we
Little.
were cool with that. And then finding out that we had to do it all over again with an even longer incision
yeah,
was a tough one.
yeah.
Because we're over here thinking, okay, is this stuff growing? Is it? Because I mean, you
so
never
you're,
want to.
so you're going through the first one.
First
You
one,
went through the first one. You're like, okay, we're gonna,
Yeah.
we were gonna get some answers, and they're like, hold on, we got a second one. So
Yeah.
now, what are you thinking when they're asking you that?
So we just knew that she still had something in there, right? And it was hard because, she's in school. She had to miss school for the surgery, right?
Are we back at COVID's kind of opening more up at this time too?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah. And then so they're like, okay, let's do the second surgery. So second surgery was done during her spring break. It was done during spring break.
we
Kinda glad it was
deliberately
done at that
we
time.
deliberately did it during spring break so she didn't miss any more school.
Yeah.
I could not miss school.
And
I'm glad you felt that way.
so they did her surgery, and that one it was a little longer. That surgery, I think it was 4 hours,
4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, and her scar was like from
It's like to the right
Like-
here, all the way.
So it's
right
about a
here.
6-inch scar.
yeah, it was a big one. She had drains, and then when she came out of surgery, she was just like, okay, like I can't say she complained. She never said, oh my God, I'm in so much pain, or oh, feel sorry for me. Never once.
So that's where the courage comes in, and that's why I tell her she was an inspiration to us. We were inspiring each other, right? We were her support system, but she was also our support system. And I know everybody's different dealing with these kind of diseases, but I give her all the credit in the world, and I call her courageous. I call her resilient. I call her everything positive that you can think of. Because an average kid might say, "Man, why me? I'm just going to give up. Oh, I have this. So and just curl up into a ball and just cry every day."
Yep.
She never did, and that was the difference in our state of mind. Because I saw that she was fine, so it made us fine.
Yeah, I was about to ask that.
And
next
she saw
was-
we were
yeah,
fine, so that made her fine.
I wanted to
Yeah.
get up and walk around. Right as I got out, I wanted to just get up.
So-
I could not lay down again.
So
during-
like Jess said, she never complained.
Yeah.
She always said, "Hey, you know what? Let's do the surgery. Let's do whatever we need to do." She hates needles, but she was like, "You know what? I have to do it." And it was over the top, overwhelming, but it made everything smooth
Yep.
and simple.
How did
So-
y'all feel as parents knowing that they did their job and everything?
It's just,
Well, we weren't out of the woods yet because
Oh, okay, you weren't.
we had the surgery, and by the way, she had the surgery that same day. She came out and she made a TikTok video, and it had over 1 million views. Right?
Oh, there you go.
how many?
1.9 million views on a TikTok.
Ooh,
It was a
okay.
dark humor joke
What,
about.
what was it?
It
What'd
was
you
like,
do?
shout out to my barber, but it was like my fresh cut on my neck.
It was like a Frankenstein type thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I named, and people were calling me Frankenstein, but I just found it funny.
Yeah.
and
Oh,
people
that's
were-
good.
So they were trying to bully you.
But I found it funny. It was hilarious.
She had a good attitude. She actually did the TikTok as she was laying
like
in the hospital
right when
bed.
I got out of
Oh, really?
like
Oh, yeah.
maybe like 2 hours before I got out.
Did you already have this in your head? Like, I'm gonna play this out.
I didn't realize it just came up on my For You page, and then everyone like with their injuries, they would post it on the sound. But I was the top of the sound for like a month.
So
Yeah.
although she just had surgery, she was making us laugh.
That's so cool.
Right.
She-
It was hilarious.
She was like, okay, she did the video and she was like, hey mom, it has a word in there. And I was like, oh God. I was like,
But it was a trending
it?
sound.
it was trending, and yeah.
Oh,
to
it
this
was the
day-
F word.
Yeah, to this day,
Don't cancel me.
She said, "Don't cancel me."
I don't need to get
Well,
canceled.
you didn't say the F word. It was a sound.
Yeah.
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 I
Oh,
was
the
just
sound said that
mocking it, so I didn't really say it. I'm sorry for
if-
anyone watching this who doesn't like
If
me
the
cussing.
word, if the sound didn't come out, it doesn't count.
But it was funny because people were commenting and they're like, "Oh my god, like what happened?"
Oh yeah.
And then, Abby, she commented, "Oh my god, my sister's so famous." And now, like, all my friends, like, I do like a send it thing, and they put under my name, "You're famous." And on my TikTok account, y'all should go follow me because y'all love me. It's mbtx.celeste.
Okay,
Yeah.
there
Go
you
follow me, and it might be up there. Maybe I'll think about it.
And there's so many people that were sharing it and just commenting, and it was
That's awesome.
So that was good. So then she got the surgery, and then we went for a few more follow-ups, and then her doctor, her endocrinologist, says, "Hey, we need to do it's called a radioactive iodine pill." Because there's still a little bit in there that we didn't get. So we were like, okay, tell us about it. So he says, okay, she's going to have to take it, and she's going to be either stay in the hospital or go home, and she's going to have to stay in her room for 3-4 days.
Because
right?
she's radioactive.
Right.
It sucked.
Yeah.
I couldn't eat food.
So
I'd eat peanuts.
We had to prepare for this pill, like the sodium. She couldn't have sodium. It was a horrible diet that she had to be on.
Because I mean, a thyroid does so much. I mean, we take it for granted, but a thyroid has to do with the growth of your hair, your nails,
Yeah.
enzymes that your body produces to keep you stable. Chemistry in your body has to have the right levels.
Wow, that's
and
crazy. I
because
had no idea.
she doesn't have her thyroid, she's lacking the calcium and everything what Johnny just described.
Yeah.
So then,
So this pill, it in essence kills the cancer cells.
yep,
So all this radioactivity is going on in your body, and it draws itself to these
that.
cancer cells.
Okay.
And it dominates them and eventually kills them. Mm-hmm. Right?
Unfortunately, I wasn't glowing green after I took it.
I was about to ask that.
I was
Is there
kind
a
of mad.
Because
specific-
that's kind of how they were making it
Was-
sound like she's
I was
radioactive,
mad.
and we had
Yeah.
to have these remember E.T.
Yeah.
They had
Oh.
those suits.
that was like it was interesting the way they opened up to give her the pill.
It was
and
like in a
she-
a metal
yeah,
ball.
Yeah, and she had to wear gloves.
Wait,
and
hold
then-
on. The medicine was in
Yes,
on
it was like
ball?
in a container. It looked like it was like bolted together.
I was
and
expecting
they
it to
didn't
glow
even touch it.
when it
They
was
just-
opened up.
They got like these it looked like, what's it called? Tongs?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they lifted it and then it wasn't glowing, so I got mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But seriously, it was like PT. So that was like kind of fun. But yeah, we got her home. She stayed in her room, and she was just living life for those 4 days, right, in her room.
We didn't get to see her or anything.
I
for
remember
4
y'all
days.
were during that time too.
Yeah.
Y'all were talking about how she was locked up in her room.
Yeah.
And how to, so what kind of foods were you allowed to eat?
Peanuts.
Peanuts?
No
Dry
sodium
peanuts?
whatsoever.
No
Like
sodium.
salted? No.
It was
Like,
just regular peanut, like
That's it. Just
Unsalted,
Yes.
not
unsalted
unsalted nuts.
peanuts.
Unsalted, or
Unsalted.
if it's a chicken breast, it was just a chicken breast. No seasoning.
Seasoning, nothing.
And I'm like, oh, I felt so bad because I'm like, I'm sorry, this is how we have to prepare you for this.
yeah.
So then once she took the pill and, we went to go see the doctor, and he was like, okay, well, it's going to be in her body for like a whole year,
Wow.
So we don't need to do any surgeries right now. We don't need to do anything. So she has follow-ups with her doctor. She actually goes for a follow-up tomorrow, and then she's going to go for another ultrasound.
So
next week.
after the radioactive iodine, fast forward about 9 months, there was still some remnants
Yep.
of the thyroid cancer
Mm-hmm.
in her throat. So it was microscopic cells, but it was still there.
Mm-hmm.
So then the doctor said, hey, it's the radioactive iodine is still in effect. It's still working. It's still doing its magic. Give it another 3-4 months.
Mm-hmm.
So we did. And then the last one, we did a scan,
Blood
and
draw.
that's a blood draw.
Blood draw. Yep.
Okay, and I'll let you talk that piece.
Yep. So she went in for some blood work, and doctor called us, and he said it was what was it, like point? It had to be at a 0,
0.4.
and it was at a 0.04,
Mm-hmm.
which means
Very, very minimal.
yeah. So that was the best news that we've had in a really long time. It was just great, just knowing that she wasn't going to have to go through anything, at least for right now.
Yeah.
So now she's on medication for the rest of her life.
Really?
She takes a pill in the morning. She takes her calcium pill, and it's just,
You just started early then, because you should see how many pills I have to take. Okay.
J-Rock takes old man pills.
I take
Old
I take 7 pills.
grandpa.
J-Rock
Okay.
is one of those pills blue.
oh god,
Only on
Blue pills?
Fridays.
Only on
Fridays.
guys, we got a kid on the
I know,
show.
we gotta kill him.
She doesn't know what the blue
Chill
pill is.
out.
She's probably thinking we're talking about the Matrix or
The
something.
Matrix. So one thing I do want to say, and what kept us going, is the unwavering support we had from our friends and family. This community went all out to make sure that we were taken care of. Not only with goodies, they had a lot of drop-offs, and
Lucky.
I'll give some shout-outs here in a second.
I got free food.
But they made sure she was taken care of, and we
That's
were
awesome.
taken care of emotionally.
I was going to
as
ask
well.
you that as parents now, like, what would you say to other parents that maybe have to go through this? Like, what was it that y'all were doing for each other to make sure y'all kept y'all's head controlled?
Do you want me to speak on that?
Yeah, you can
Just
speak on
just
that.
communicating, just making sure you're positive, making sure that that your child understands it's going to be okay, and no matter how bad it can be, just make sure that you are enamoring them with love and support, and making sure that their mind is free of any negativity.
Yeah.
Because having a parents who are scared are showing. I mean, parents are scared, but showing fear and saying, always crying and all these different things, it wears on the child, and they can sense it and they know it.
Yeah.
I never cried. I cried inside because I didn't know what was going to happen, but I never let her know that I was fearful. I always said, "Babe, you're going to be okay. You're going to be strong. Give me some dab. Give me a hug. All these different things." Because my energy was her energy, and her energy was my energy, and we all did it together. And to answer the other part of your question, the what else can we do? The support. Make sure you reach out. There are resources out there, not only for thyroid cancer, but there's all kinds of cancers that crush families.
Yeah.
There's brain cancer. There's stomach cancer. There's all kinds of different cancers out there, and it's so heartbreaking just watching your child deteriorate.
Yeah.
But we've been very, very fortunate, and we've been surrounded by great people. And let me give you some of the outlets. Abby Mayberry and her staff over at Lightwork 316. They specialize in providing funds and support and just positive vibes for children and families that are going through this disease. There's a Pink Warrior Advocates. I reached out over to Crystal Haas and Alora Williams just to give them the heads up that our child had cancer. And I think Crystal and Jen Reynolds, bless her heart, gave you some words of advice as well. They're a phenomenal organization as well that help women with breast cancer. Gabriella Smile Foundation. I've been fortunate to become friends with Isabel and Cecilio Torres. They had a daughter unfortunately pass away with some form of cancer a few years ago, and they're giving back to the community with their nonprofit called Gabriella Smile Foundation. I reached out to them just to get their mindset on how I should go progress as a parent. And she said, you're going to be okay. We're here for you. Things like that. So Abby, Crystal, Alora, Isabel, and Cecilia, you guys are rock stars. And kudos to you and your organizations. You guys do amazing stuff for families, because it is all about the support. It is about comforting those around you. And we've been blessed. We've been inundated with just love and support. So we're going to continue to monitor this thyroid cancer thing. We know we're not out of the woods. It's still there. We meet people all the time. So one thing is, I see a badge of courage on some people. We see the little thyroid scar. We just met somebody the other day at an event, and I said, "Hey, you have a beautiful scar on your neck." And she said, "Thank you." I said, "My daughter has or had thyroid cancer as well. So we become friends with these
That's
people.
awesome. Yeah.
But it's given us another outlook. It's made us stronger. It's made us more revived, and just more aware as well. And for those of you listening to this, make sure you screen your child. Make sure you check them on your own. Make sure you check for any kind of lumps or any kind of discomfort. And sometimes with thyroid cancer, you don't have symptoms, like Celeste said earlier. You might not even know that it's affecting you. Sometimes you might have it for 5, 6, 10 years and not even know it.
Who knows how long I had that?
We don't know, but like you said, we look at photos, and hindsight's always 20/20. We're like, holy cow, I did not notice, because we took family portraits, and we did not notice that there was a big lump in her throat.
Like, it's noticeable.
Yep, and we see it. So parents, if you, and it's not only kids, there's adults that can get thyroid cancer. Women, breast cancer, that's another high priority thing. Women, and I'll let you talk on that about making sure you're giving yourself self-examinations and all that. I don't want to talk about that subject.
I'm off limits on that one. But you should get checked.
And men with testicular cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just so many things out there that
colon too.
Colon
cancer. That's a big one. That's a big one in my family too. I lost my grandfather that way.
Yep. Make sure you get colonoscopies. Make sure you get these. And a lot of old school people, a lot of old school parents are like, oh, it's better not to know. I don't want to go to the doctor. I don't want to know if I have this or that. And it's not only cancer; it could be anything. If I have symptoms, no, I'll just suck it up and go. No. You make sure that you go get checked by a specialist, checked by somebody. Because you can get your life saved. So I wholeheartedly believe that the doctors and the entire staff and our support system that I spoke about earlier saved her life.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Much love.
Much love.
That's another trending term. Much love.
Hey,
Shout out to y'all.
And speaking of trend, this is Celeste over here talking about her 1.1 mil, right? Was that what it was? Views?
One on my whole account.
Yeah.
It
Okay, let's hear
says
it.
on the likes it's 1.5 million.
1.5 million.
And then on the actual TikTok video, it's 1.9 million views.
I think what happened though is that the first video I made is what started it all. It's just coming back, right? You know what I'm talking about? The video you and Dad did.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes. So we did a commercial, all right, and we'll show it here. So this commercial, we had the honor and privilege of doing an Air Force commercial where we represented the Air Force family as a whole. All right, because the Air Force believes in family. They believe in mission, but family is the most important thing before anything. So each individual, if they have a family member or a family, you got to take care of their family as well. So this commercial, I'll kind of walk you through it, as from what I remember. So I'm in the woods. And I start off, it looks like I'm going to get ready for war. I look like Rambo or something, man. So I'm getting a knife, putting it on my side, and I'm lacing up my boots, and I look like I have camouflage on. So I'm walking through the woods, and we'll show it here.
What's that?
A hawk feather?
That's right, baby.
His job is important.
But this is what matters most.
We
So we slayed that. We killed it. We dominated. And we weren't ghosting anybody there. So
Dad.
that was a pretty cool experience. We were hand selected out of the entire Air Force to do that commercial.
That's awesome.
So the premise behind it was, no matter how important your mission is, family is what matters most. So we're walking through the woods. I see a little feather on the ground. I said, "Baby, what's that?" You say, "Hawk feather." And I said, "That's right, baby." And then we keep on walking, and then we're roasting marshmallows. And actually, during that commercial, the commercial filming,
We had to bring this up.
so her sister and our daughter, she was behind the scenes, and she was over there rocking back and forth on a little chair,
So imagine this chair, but the ones that you sit on at a softball game.
like a lawn chair.
She was her legs were over here, and then her back was right here. She was swinging on it, and then she fell.
She fell on her butt, and we were laughing about it. So if you look at that commercial again, you can see us kind of smiling, and we were laughing. We wanted to just bust out
Because we're
laughing.
talking about Abby.
Yes. So she fell. Usually a dad would be like, "Oh no, my daughter fell." We were laughing our butts off.
Because then Abby was laughing and she's like, I fell.
Yeah. So great commercial, great message that it had. Great shout out, our big shout out to the Air Force and airforce.com for allowing us to take part in that commercial.
Thanks,
But
guys.
maybe we can get 1.9 million viewers on the Social Plug podcast to watch this episode. Who knows?
If you're a viewer of mine, go watch it.
Yes.
I'll send it to you. Just go watch it.
And Celeste, make sure you tell them that you can find us on social media and that you can
Shout out.
find us on Social Plug Media or actual socialplugmedia.net.
Yes.
All right. And make sure that you tell them that we're all over social media. All right. So we need 1.9 million views.
If you
as well.
post, do you do reels about I'll probably post
we do
this.
we do reels, we do stories, we do everything.
I'll post it and then I'll tell people to go watch it. I
See,
got
Celeste
you.
doesn't even know what we do. So kids are oblivious.
Yeah, you should hear
You
my
know.
basketball kids. They think that I have no job. They think
Right.
I don't do anything.
Right.
Um,
So
whatever.
there was some times where we come home and we're slaying it all day, Jess and I,
slay all day.
and we come
slay all
home
day.
for a 20-minute nap, right?
You came to slay. Then
So we come home and we take a little nap on the couch, and the girls come down after being awake all night and sleep all during the day. So they come check us out on the couch about 1 PM, and we're taking a nap. So they think we're losers. They think we're just asleep all day.
Losers.
They
That's
think that
Abby.
we've been
Losers.
asleep on that couch since the nighttime.
Is that true, Celeste?
I don't think that's Abby.
Yeah.
Abby
She's like,
thinks-
y'all just sit on the couch all day.
Oh.
Like in a joking way.
Okay,
So-
so that all that food and then
It's like a joke because she likes to make dad mad.
Yeah. And these kids, they're not impressed by anything we do. They're unimpressed, and they just if we do anything on TikTok or anything, they say, "Oh, Dad, that's lame. You don't have that many views, Dad. You're not as popular as this guy or this gal or whatever." And I'm just
Dad,
like, you know
I think
what?
You're so famous.
Yeah, so-
what are you talking about?
It's hard to impress kids nowadays, but we love them anyway. It's tough in this world being a kid. It's tough being a parent, and it's even tougher being a parent of a child that has cancer. So with that say, I'm gonna say it: fuck cancer. All right, hashtag fuck cancer. We hate cancer. We hate everything about it. So make sure that you're educated. Make sure that you have a support system around you. Make sure you reach out to people. There's all sorts of support systems out there. There's all sorts of medical advice. There's all sorts of Facebook groups and all these different things that can keep you educated, supported, and loved.
Okay.
So
Hashtag slay.
Hashtag slay.
Slay all day, guys.
And before we wrap up on this topic, there is a group for teens that have thyroid cancer.
Really?
And they meet like maybe once a month, like through a Zoom.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's kids all over dealing with the same issue. And I think Celeste has jumped on a couple, but they send out good information with different resources for the entire family. So it's nice to know that they have that support as well.
Yeah.
And if you are going through something and you need the support, you don't know who to reach out to us. We are more than happy to connect you with the people that have helped us while we were going through this with her.
Okay. All right.
So you can find us on socialplugmedia.net. You can find us all over social media. You can find us on YouTube. We have over 2,100 subscribers, but we wish we had 1.9 million subscribers like
Make sure
like
you
Celeste
follow me
here.
on TikTok.
All right, so make sure.
MBTX.
Follow you. You gotta get us to follow
No, yeah,
us.
you can follow you, but follow us as well.
Yes, mbtx.celeste.
There you go.
Go
Look at
follow
that.
me on TikTok.
Look at her. She's such a show woman. I love it.
I wonder where she gets that from.
Yeah.
She's slaying.
I slay.
So with that said, we are
Slay all
slaying and
day.
we are unplugged from the Social Plug podcast. Thank you guys for watching. It's been a pleasure having you on. Celeste, you've been our youngest guest and probably will be for as long as I think we're going to have this show.
No
All right.
one younger is going to be on this
So
show.
it also takes a lot of
It's gonna be
courage
me.
To come and sit on that chair.
to come
man.
on here and
Really
have that
come
much
sit on that chair.
confidence and say that she has 1.9 million viewers and to tell people to follow them when her dad is sitting right here trying to promote his
Promoting my
podcast.
TikTok.
So that takes a lot of courage, but we'll talk offline about
Yeah,
that.
that's another podcast to ask you. How does Dad feel about? Okay, we'll wait.
So everybody, thank you. We love you. Lots of support out there. J-Rock, we love you too.
Love you
the man
guys.
with the sunglasses. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do a great job as an engineer as well.
I try, man. I
Jessica, I love you. Celeste, I love
you.
you. And with
I
that,
love
we're
you too.
unplugged. We'll talk to you soon.
Try.